Assalamu alaikum. Good day. Welcome to Financial Management eLearning. We are going to discuss cost accounting. We are in module 9. We are in domain costing and control of labor. Today we'll discuss labor cost control, labor turnover, and control of labor turnover, and learning curve theory. So, the labor cost. What is labor cost? The price paid for using human resource are called labor cost. And also we know that there are three elements of cost: material, labor, and overhead. So labor cost is a vital element. Price paid for using human resource are called labor cost. If we see here, the direct labor cost derived entity, hours used, product diversity, it can be size on a complexity in different way, and a production volume, maybe sale volume depend on the sale volume, resource availability, resource quality and flexibility, and also production or efficiency depend on labor skill or their experience, and a material quality, equipment quality, etc. And a labor mixed, we can say that sub suitability, labor availability, or a CVA, etc. So if you see the labor cost drive, and if you see like material control, cost account has to genuine interest to the control over the labor cost. But you cannot control the labor like a material control, because both decreasing the number of the laborers and wages will increase the cost of the labor, because less number of worker with fewer wages will produce less output and its cost will be more. We see the factor affecting the cost of labor is the assessment of manpower requirement, time and motion study, control over idle time and overtime, wage system, control over labor turnover. So this is the factor that affecting the cost of labor. And we know here where the labor stand here. Look here, labor cost and direct material cost, we know is called the prime cost. And with this prime cost and factory overhead, we will get the factory cost. And factory cost, and if we add the selling expenses, then we will get the total selling and manufacturing cost. And with the total selling and manufacturing cost, if we add general administrative cost, then we will get the total cost. So component of these, all is the direct labor cost is the one of the component of total cost. So if direct labor cost can reduce, the total cost reduce. If it's increased, the total cost will increase. So we know the resource in the direct labor, direct material, factory overhead within the factory. This is the direct labor is the traced at the traceable cost, and direct material also the traceable cost, but factory overhead is allocated. So within this resource, our product or service cost depend, and with that the non-factory cost, selling and general administrative cost, direct it is the period cost in which we will get the total cost, that this one. So okay, so labor turnover, control of labor turnover. So labor turnover is the rate that which an employer gains and loses employees. That means employees in and out in the job. So simply we can say that how long employees turn to stay within the organization. Labor turnover means losing of laborers due to not providing good wages or incentive or any other reason, and it will increase the cost of training of new workers and also erodes in production. So labor turnover should minimize effects of labor turnover. It says both effect, positive and negative. So if you see the positive effect that improve organization culture, because new person if come within the organization, just he can use the new fresh blood and new idea and energetic idea. So it's the positive effect. And more talented personnel, less expensive resource, listens the fresh idea, better skill and qualifications. So it's the positive effect of labor turnover. But negative effect is the hampers productivity, decrease morale, production cost, training expense increase, replacement cost increase. So it is the negative impact of labor turnover. So how can labor turnover be controlled? We have to, an organization, an employer should control their labor turnover. How? The reduce employee turnover by hire the right people. So if right people are in, labor turnover would be the least. People who don't fit, keep compensation and benefit garden, encourage gratuity, recognize and reward employees, office flexibility, pay attention to engagement, etc. are the point that should be taken by the employer for minimizing and controlling labor turnover. Labor turnover, there are different types of method. Calculating of labor turnover, separation method, net labor turnover or replacement record, and labor loss rate. So this is the three formula, that means separation rate method, separation during the period divided by average number of workers during the period, and replacement method, number of replacement divided by average number of workers during the period, and number 3, it is the combination of both separation and replacement method. So if we see the labor turnover problems here, so entry limited suppliers usually use the following information: number of workers at the beginning of the year 400, number of workers at the end of the year 500, and the workers resigned 35, teachers 10, and replaced 40. So calculate the labor turnover rate. So calculation is here. Look here, average number of worker. So number of worker in the beginning of the year period and the plus number of worker in the end of the period divided by 2, then we will get 450. Okay, and the labor turnover, then number of left during the period divided by number of workers replaced during the period divided by average number of workers during the period multiplied by 100, so it comes in 18.8%. So it's okay, I think, for you. It is easier. And another one, labor turnover in different methods. So in the 20, the following information obtained from the each department of a manufacturing company. Labor force in the beginning of the month 1,900. At the end of the month, 2,100. During the month, left 25% and teachers 40%. During the month, 280 workers were engaged, out of which only 30 were appointed. Okay. So calculate the labor turnover in different ways. So competition is that, additional method. Another method, number of addition divided by number of average worker during the period is come 14%. Okay. Separation method is come 3.25%. Replacement method is 1.5%. So number of replacement divided by number of average worker during the period. So loss method is come 8.63 method. So different method of liver turnover is here. Now, learning curve theory. So what is learning curve theory? The learning curve theory states that the effect of the complete task should take less time and effort the more of the tasks is done over time. The theory can also be expressed as a mathematical function that can be used as a prediction tool. So the cost that is influenced by learning curve cost, the cost that is influenced by, so the learning, what is learning curve? So a learning curve, the cost that is influenced by the learning, that means repetitive lever that becomes more proficient over time. Learning curve analysis is a systematic method for estimating learning-based cost. The learning rate is the percentage by which average time falls from previous levels of output doubles. A learning rate range for 1, that means no learning, plus 0.5 infinitive learning. So look here, nowadays concept of learning curve is applied in the business function, in the value chain such as marketing, distribution, and customer service. So this is the learning curve. This is the learning curve. In this side, average labor time, and this side is unit. How do you use the learning curve? Learning curve, in the early days, there is a slave learning curve. That a slave learning curve, that was the biggest learning curve, and hopefully the only one I have to go through in ready. The employee owners of the new mission will face slave learning curves. And why it is called a learning curve? Because a learning curve is a graphical representation of the relationship between how proficient someone is at a task and the amount of experience they have. How can improve learning curve? Work hard at what you do. When you work all the time you work. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. This way can be improved the learning curve. Work faster, develop sense of urgency, get on with the job. Bunch your tasks, do several similar activities all at the same time. So this way can improve the learning curve. So learning curve, because if you see here, average labor per time per unit, and here is cumulative production output. So this is the line. Learning effect are large initially, but in this line, in this point, learning effect becomes smaller, eventually reaching extreme state. So this is the general equation we use learning curve analysis. Look here, y equal to a x, and y is the average time per unit for output, a is the time required for the first unit of output, x is the cumulative output, b is the learning index. So this is the equation, learning equation is here. So through this equation, we can solve the learning curve theory's problem. So from this side point, you have to remember, look here, this is the cumulative quantity and average time hour. Here is the 80% learning curve. Look here, this is the slope. So you are always calculate the average labor time. You have to remember the nature of the work is always manual. When the production volume is double, apply the learning rate at the time of first unit. Read the problem carefully to find out the reducible cost. Okay. So this is the learning curve problem see here. So if the learning rate is 80%, find out the learning coefficients. So we have to use a log at the 80% learning curve. B, if with the log, then this figure will find it minus 0.32. So average time would be this figure. Okay. So now another one. If the direct labor cost reduced by 20% with every doubling of output, what would be the average labor cost for 16 unit production as an approximate percentage of the cost of the first unit produced? So look here, if the reducible labor cost fall by 20%, then the learning rate reduced by 80%. So if unit 1, then after reduction 100, 2, 80, 4, 64, 8, 5, 51.2, and 16 is a double of that means 40.96. So okay, so another one here, the find labor time, cost reduction, etc. It is solving in here. Please download the sheet from my drive and do it in your exercise book. Okay, I think it would be easier to you for solving the problem, and you will be able to solve the problem in your exam hall, because if you do that, continue exercise, then it will be easier to you for attend the exam and solve the problem in the exam hall. So here in the problem, yes, been limited is the undecided as to what kind of waste scheme will be introduced, and the following particulars have been completed in respect of 3 systems, which is the considered the management actual hour worked in a week. Here the person is the labor is ABC, and actual work week 38, 40, 34, hourly rate 657.2, production in unit, product PQR, this way labor A produce, product C, product P 21, Q 36, and R 46. Same way B and C. So standard time allowed. So standard time allowed for unit of each product, P 12, Q 18. This one it is the product. PQR is the product. C are the ABC are the levers. So when it's 12, 18, and 36. But the purpose of piece rate, each minute is valued 0.10. Okay. So calculate the wages of each worker. First, granted hourly rate basis. So come here. This is the granted hourly rate basis is the calculation. Look here. Workers ABC. 3 workers are here. An actual hour work in the week, 38, 40, and 34 is given here, is 38, 40, and 34. Okay, this figure is here. And hourly rate wages, same here, 6, 5, and 7.2, 6, 5, 7.2. So if we multiply 38, multiply by 6, then we'll get 228. Same way for B, 200, for C, 244.80. So it is the granted hourly rate. It's okay. Now, pitch work earnings basis, but granted at 75% of basic pay, granted hourly rate, if his earnings are less than the 50% of the basic pay. So come here. This is the calculation. So product PQR, piece rate 1.2, 1.8, and 3. This piece rate we calculated in our note 1. This is the piece rate calculation. Look here. So PQ1, standard time per unit in minutes, 12, 18 and 30. And piece rate each minute, an unit for the worker A, unit 21, 36, 46. So 21 multiplied by 1.2 will get 2.5. That means 25 will get 25.20. Same way, and total it would be 228. And the worker B, we only get 75 because only 25 unit of R. Look here, this 25 units produced in R. Okay, so this 25 is this 25, and worker C, his wages would be 315. Okay, so since the worker has the granted 75% of basic pay, if the earning is the less than the 50% of the basic pay, therefore the worker A and C will be paid the wages as computed 228 and 315 respectively. But computation wages of worker B, taka 75, which is the less than the 50% of the basic pay. Like 100, therefore it would be paid 75% of 200 is 150. So I think it's okay to you. Now 3, premium bonus basis, where the worker receives bonus based on the raw scheme. Okay, so this is number 3. It is that we computed here of wages of each worker under a premium basis, which each worker receives bonus based on the raw scheme. So worker ABC and time allowed per hour, we calculate in our note 2. Time allowed, look here, for worker A, 3 units he produced in 3 defined units, that means 21 units of .50. All calculation is here. Please do it in your workbook. And putting this time allowed in here. But time taken 38, 40, 34. How we get it? This one. Time taken 38, 40 and 34. This actual time taken for the work. Okay, so this figure is putting here, and time saved, so there is no saved here, only C allowed 52.50 hours but time taken 34, so C times saved hours is 18.50. So wages rate for early 6, 5, and 7 and 7.2. So earnings. So multiply this, we get this figure. That's the earnings. And bonus only for C because we saved 18.50 hours. So it's for his bonus, and adding that total earnings for A 228, for B 200, for C 330.48. So it is the theory calculation is here for liver problems. Now another one we are going to solve here is taking with the material issue. So inventories and opening and closing finished goods and work in progress and raw materials. So we know there are three types of inventories. All are here in this math. And additional information, cost of goods sold available 6840, and total goods proceed during the period 6540, factory and cost 1670, direct material use 1930. So have to determine the raw material purchase and direct labor and cost incurred, and have to determine the cost of goods sold. So look here, so raw material purchase, we can calculate here by this way. Raw material purchase, the raw material consumed equal to opening stock plus purchase plus minus closing stock. So figure putting here, so we get 1980 is the raw material purchase. So we solved the number 1. Okay. 2, direct labor cost. So cost of goods sold proceed during the year, less opening a stock in progress, and then less factory overhead. Then we get prime cost. From this prime cost, if we less the raw material consumed, then we'll get direct labor cost. So the back calculation for find out the labor cost. Now the cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold available for sale minus closing stock finished goods. So we get 5,890. So I think it's all for today. So today we finished this domain of costing and control of labor. We discussed, here we see that the price paid for using human resource are called labor cost, and we see that the factors affecting the cost of labor and labor turnover, control of labor turnover, and effect of labor turnover, positive impact or a negative impact, and how can labor turnover be controlled, and labor turnover's formula, and solve the labor turnover problems to probably say here. And also we have seen the learning curve theory, and how do we use the learning curve, why it is called the learning curve, because a learning curve is a graphical representation of the relationship between the how proficient someone is at a task, that the amount of experience they have, and how can improve the learning curve. We see here is the vital thing is here, and it is and also we see the equation, general equation of learning curve, and it is the learning curve equation, and also this is the learning curve problems, and also we solve to another problems here. So it's all today. So today we discuss the labor cost control, labor turnover, and control of labor turnover, and a learning of theory. All for today. We'll meet with you with my next module, module 10. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.